The question shouldn't be what's out there. The question really should be if what's out there is good or is it bad? What if we are not alone in the universe? A crowded conference room buzzing with excitement. Reporters, scientists, government officials, and curious citizens are eagerly awaiting the launch of the event known as the broadcast. Cameras pan over a large, sleek control center with state-of-the-art technology where scientists and technicians are making last-minute checks. Dr. Emily Vargas, a renowned astrophysicist in her 40s with an air of skepticism, watches the crowd from a corner. Her brow furrowed as she goes over notes. She's approached by Max Ross, a media mogul and mastermind behind the broadcast, who greets her with a huge grin. Dr. Vargas, tonight we make history. This is the most watched event since the moon landing. Imagine the possibilities if they're out there waiting to hear from us. Let's hope they're the right kind of they, Max. There's a reason we kept quiet for so long. Max brushes off her caution with a wave and leads her to the stage. Audience watches as Max takes the stage. Lights dim, cameras roll, and he begins to hype up the crowd with grand words. Explaining the background of the broadcast, he tells them about how humanity has been waiting for this moment, how technology has finally advanced enough to send a signal strong enough to be detected light years away. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight humanity shouts into the void of space. This is our beacon, a call to the cosmos, an invitation to any who may be listening. The crowd erupts in applause. Dr. Vargas, who joins him on stage, gives a short speech about the scientific breakthrough that made this possible. However, she carefully warns of the unknown consequences of making contact with other civilizations, emphasizing her belief that certain mysteries should remain unsolved. We can't predict what we'll find out there or what will find us, the crowd murmurs, sensing the tension. The camera shifts to a control room where a young engineer named Liam Chen runs final checks on a signal transmitter, a towering dish that's been boosted with experimental technology to send out a pulse capable of reaching other galaxies. Liam is nervous, muttering to himself as he scans the readings. Everything looks stable, I think. Back on stage, a giant screen displays the countdown timer. T-minus 10 minutes. The audience watches with bated breath, some nervously checking their phones and sharing whispered conversations about what might happen. A broadcast station cuts to a pre-recorded roundtable discussion aired in segments between the countdown. A series of guest experts brought in to offer different perspectives. Dr. Sandra Perez, a government official, assessed that this is a step forward for humanity and could lead to alliance and technological advancement. Professor Eric Yates, a philosopher, warns about the ethical considerations and noted that humanity could be inviting forces it doesn't understand. Oliver Knight, an ex-military strategist, worries that contacting the unknown beings is a dangerous gamble, possibly inviting warlike species with superior weaponry. Each speaker provides arguments that leave the audience both thrilled and uneasy. Back in a live broadcast, the camera cuts to shots of people around the world gathered around screens from packed stadiums to crowded bars, watching as the countdown ticks down. Back in the control room, the technicians are ready. A hush falls over the auditorium as the countdown reaches the final 10 seconds. Everyone chants along. 10, 9, 8. Dr. Vargas watches with a strained expression, her gaze shifting between the countdown and the stars outside. 3, 2, 1. As the timer hits 0, the massive dish outside fires a brilliant beam of light and energy into the sky. The audience gasps as the screen lights up, showing the transmission streaking into space. Everyone is silent, hypnotized by the idea that this small blue planet planet has just broadcast its presence to the universe. The crowd breaks into a pause and Max pats Dr. Vargas on the back. The broadcast is a success, or so it seems. Max returned to the stage giddy and opens up the floor to questions from reporters who bombarded him with inquiries about what the next steps would be. But before he can answer, there's a sudden static noise that crackles over the speakers. The control room technicians glance at each other, confused. They weren't expecting a response so quickly or at all. The crowd grows silent again, puzzled as the static noise grows louder, almost deafening. Dr. Vargas, you should see this. We're receiving something back. The crowd is stunned. Dr. Vargas rushes to the control room as the signal technicians replies what they're hearing. At first it's unintelligible static, but gradually patterns emerge. It's unlike any signal they've heard, a pulsing sound that forms a pattern almost like a heartbeat, repeated in a rhythm sequence. Dr. Vargas, breathless, this isn't random, it's deliberate. The sound reverberates through the room. Reporters go silent. People exchange nervous glances. The entire control room stares at the monitor, watching as the frequency slowly shifts. Dr. Vargas leans closer to the screen, captivated. Suddenly, the static cuts out, replaced by a single tone, a deep vibrating hum that seems to resonate through everyone's bones. It holds for several seconds before abruptly cutting off, leaving the entire room in dead silence. People in the crowd begin whispering, some looking visibly shaken. A reporter breaks the silence, asking Dr. Vargas if this means an alien species is really out there. Dr. Vargas, visibly unnerved, admits she doesn't know what to think yet. As people in the control room scramble to analyze the data, they detect something odd on the global satellite network. A faint but massive object has appeared far out in space, seemingly drifting towards Earth. It's barely perceptible, but it's there. We have something on a satellite. The crowd excitement shifts to fear as word spreads of an object heading their way, something too large to be natural phenomena. Dr. Vargas watches wide-eyed as the monitors display an image of the mysterious object slowly approaching Earth. We might have just made a terrible mistake. The camera zooms out, showing a global view as people around the world watch the strange phenomena unfolding in the sky. A sense of dread washes over everyone as they realize that the beacons, intended as a harmless outreach, has set something in motion. Something is out there and it's coming.